morning, class, or good evening. I don't know. Whatever time it is where you are right now. I'm in one of these classrooms. Do they have PSR here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm where you will be at some point. Tomorrow?
Sunday, yes. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Okay. So the class today is going to be on evangelization and the Great Commission, the great mission of Jesus to the apostles and to all of us. And so evangelization, what is that? It's kind of a big word. It's kind of a churchy word, but it comes from the word the evangelion, this Greek, which just means gospel. And so the evangelization that we are called to is calling to the spreading of this gospel. And there's a lot of ways you can spread this gospel. You don't have to go up to strangers and ask them, have you known Christ? That's usually how you kill a conversation, like immediately. It's happened to me right in front of the Carters. If y'all know where the Carters is, it was strange. It was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. I don't suggest it. It usually doesn't work. When we evangelize, it's much more effective to evangelize with our lives, with our actions, with those who are close to us, who interact with us, our family, our friends, sometimes the enemies even who stay in the same circles as us. So if you have someone who just really rubs you the wrong way, they get on your nerves, and you're all on the same team doing something after school, or you're on a club somewhere, those people you can also evangelize to with your life. And there's a quote here by St. Francis de Sales that he who preaches with love preaches effectively. And so the most effective way to preach the gospel, right, is to live out the gospel. It's the best way to do it. It's like a lighthouse in the darkness, right? You don't have to have the most eloquent words. You don't have to have the best, most solid education in the faith. You don't have to be a seminarian or be a priest, be a religious, be whoever. Everyone is called to evangelize. And we do that just by living as lighthouses, living with love, and encountering everybody we meet with love. And we all do this to some degree. We all fail in some degree. But all of us are always called to greater conversion. In this respect, greater conversion in our relationship with Jesus Christ, which enables us to evangelize more effectively. Because the more you know Jesus, the more that Jesus will be in contact with the people around you, right? So the more that you become like him, the more that you can give him to others. You can't give what you don't have. And so in practical ways, be a lighthouse, live with love. Those are really nice sounding things, but practically, what is that going to look like? Jesus tells us in the Gospels, right, the Beatitudes, blessed are those who are poor in spirit. So, having a humility about yourself. Blessed are those who are meek. Not thinking that you are owed everything and that, everyone around you is kind of there for you, but you are there for everyone around you. Of course, we don't want to be, doormats. We don't want to let people use us or hurt us, but to allow ourselves to be servants to everyone we encounter. And so that can be turning the other cheek. Someone says something to you that you really dislike. You might have a lot of insecurities about something they point out. And the response the world tells you to give is to say something back to them or say something behind their back, interact with their friends and spread bad news about them. And simply not doing that and instead approaching them in an honest way. That's real evangelization. Sometimes we evangelize the most effectively when we act like that, and we don't have to use Jesus' name explicitly. So just turning the other cheek. If your family, they annoy you, it could be helping out with chores you're not asked to do. Small things that add up. And this is the most effective way, I think, to evangelize. It's kind of like erosion. It's not like you're going to break the rock. You're going to crack the code and get into people's hearts and fix them immediately because you told them about the story of Jesus. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes, God in His grace grants these miraculous conversions. But oftentimes, at least it's been my experience, it's like an eroding effect, right? There's like you're like a rock in a river, and over time, the things that you used to cling to, which are not of the gospel, are slowly taken from you, and you're allowed to fill yourself more with God's grace. And so when we live that, when we take each day as a day that we will dedicate to the Lord, dedicate to growing closer to Him, that will bring us closer to the Lord in the end. And it's not going to be instant, and it's not going to be easy. And sometimes it'll be complicated. Sometimes you won't know what is the Lord calling me to do in this situation. But pray and stay with Him, walk with Him. He will not let you down. And it may be dark, it may be scary, but the Lord is always there with us and always promises to stay with us. And so every day you wake up, and every day is a new challenge, and every day you say, Lord, this day is for you. And when you live that way, you grow closer to Christ, and those around you can encounter Christ, and you're evangelizing.